Hey there, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tasha, and today we are gardening outside in the dirt. Okay, and it is going to be another monthly garden vlog. It's the month of June. We'll see what we can get done this month. I am just starting on like the first weekend of June right now. I don't know what day it is. It's like the 7th or something, 7th or 8th. And so far, I haven't really done much out here. Oh my gosh. There's like multiple birds and a baby bunny. I love my yard. Okay, anyway. I haven't really done much so far in June, so I have quite a bit to do because this is like really the start of the season. We're getting consistently warm days now. I think our rainy season is over. I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but I was telling you guys it had been raining so much. We got more rain in the month of May than Seattle here in Denver. So it was a lot of rain, so not a lot of time was spent outside in this garden. But I did share with you guys that I was landscaping my front yard and gonna plant out all of my vegetables in the garden bed and start my herb garden. Those were kind of my goals for this month. I have worked on stuff. In between the rainy days, I was working on the front yard and getting rid of those landscaping rocks out of that bed so that I can do mulch, and I am happy to announce that I did finish that task. So I'm so happy about that. And right now I am working on designing the plants that are gonna go in that front L-shaped bed. And I'm really excited about it. But I don't have a super ton of daylight left. It's already 7 p.m. So I'm gonna focus on planting out the garden and maybe filling that bed with dirt. We're gonna plant out the veggies and then I'll fill the herb bed with dirt, and we'll see how much time we have left to actually plant the herbs. But I wanna do the vegetables now. I like planting my transplants at night. It gives them a nice long time to settle in before the blazing sun, versus if you do it early morning, you're really only giving your plants like a couple of hours before the sun is blazing on them to really get it together. And so you'll definitely have transplant shock. So let me show you the vegetables I'm planting. Oh my God, bunny rabbit. There's multiple. There were 3 of them. Look. Hi, Bun Bun. Do you see that Bun Bun right there? Look at her, going to be a menace. There's a bunny there. There's a bunny right there. And then the 3rd one ran under the fence into my neighbor's yard. That's the stuff that's going out front. I'm so excited. We'll get to that later. These are some veggies that I just couldn't help but buy while I was at the store. Boop. So I'm gonna get these planted, and also the ones that are really sad in my seed starting tray. Sad. These are all peppers. The tomatoes all crispy and sad. I'm gonna plant all this stuff out, but I don't have any expectations for it, if I'm being 100 with you guys. I've decided to give myself some grace this garden season and for the rest of my life, honestly, because I'm not Superwoman and I have so many things going on, and I always have like, okay, squirrel try to take me out. I always have such high expectations, and I don't always have the time and the effort to put into executing it, but it's really the thought that counts. And I still always have a really great garden. It's just not this like Martha Stewart, like crazy homestead level that like I envision in my head, but it's still awesome and it's still beautiful. Like my garden last year was still beautiful despite all of the fails that I had, and I still had a lot of abundance despite all the fails. So I'm washing my hands of it and getting rid of that standard for myself. and acknowledging that I am still learning this garden and this space. This is only going to be my second year growing in it, and it's just not as easy as having a fully established plot in a community garden with perfect soil that's been cultivating nutrients for 35 years and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm starting from scratch. So I had to remind myself of that because I was pretty harsh on myself in the last garden update. But we're making it work. Let's plant things. So there were actually 2 plants in this cup, and so I am separating them so that they can grow really strong independently. That is one of my best tips for vegetable shopping at any big box or nursery. Look for the plants that have 2 or more plants in the cup or in the trays versus just 1, because you can separate them and get 2 plants for the price of 1. I was so relieved to finally be getting my vegetables planted out in the garden. It feels like such a weight lifted off of my shoulders to have this task done, because it really sets us up for success when it comes to having our own food supply for the rest of the year. And there is so much like honor and just passion and pride that I have when I say that I can grow my own food and sustain my family in that way. And obviously it's not like a 100% source, but it does help a lot because food cost is only going up and things are only getting more uncertain here in the US. So if you have not started your vegetable garden, I highly suggest to try growing 1 or 2 things that your family really enjoys eating so that you don't have to worry about buying that from the store. Maybe research how to preserve that one thing and make it last. You know, we can start somewhere. It's all about baby steps. And when it comes to growing your own food, there are so many creative, scrappy ways of doing so. You do not have to have a big, elaborate garden like me. You can be growing off the balcony or your porch in buckets or bins or totes and paper bags and like all types of vessels and substrates you can use. So I would love to inspire you to try growing something for the first time, or bring it back if that's something you used to do, and see how much joy it brings you and how much fun you'll have just spending time outside with your hands in the dirt and getting something out of that, which is some type of food or herb or berry. It's been a long day, y'all. I have a horrible headache. I've been getting really bad headaches lately. I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna go work in the garden. Yesterday, I planted out all of those plants, and today I'm going to fill up my herb garden bed and plant the herbs in it. Let me show you what the garden's looking like after last night's session, because I was out there working on it until after dark. Okay. My eyes are so low because my head hurts, y'all. It's like one of those like pressure headaches that like you can't move or feel like your brain rattling around. Let's look at the garden. This is what we're looking like so far. Super happy with everything. I put all of my front yard landscaping stuff over there. And so this bed has peppers, and then over here we have tomatoes. There's a pumpkin in that corner, watermelon in that bucket. I planted some bush bean seeds there in that empty spot. We got the not cauliflower, what is that? Collard greens, y'all. Volunteer collard greens going on here. We got the spinach, fennel. I planted some more arugula and mixed greens and lettuce seeds right here. We got the onion patch. That's going pretty good. I don't know if you can see the onions, but there's at least 6 rows of onions that are growing right there. They're still pretty small. We have our green cabbage, our red cabbage, our cauliflower, our Chinese cabbage. This is a little volunteer squash that I had to transplant because that squash plant popped up over here. I don't know what type of squash it is. I don't know, so we'll see. I moved it over there, so it's looking a little sad. This is a white eggplant. We got our broccolini, our broccoli, a row of celery, and then we're going to have 2 rows of carrots right here. There's already the ones that I started from seed a few months ago going down this line, and then last night I planted another line of carrots next to that. So we're looking pretty good, I think. I'm just crossing my fingers that things grow. Please grow. I want to be able to harvest my own food and eat my own food. Please grow. And I had ended up purchasing a cherry tomato plant from the hardware store because like all of my seedlings that you guys know are like super tiny still, not doing much. And look at what I did. So the plant that I bought already had some tomatoes growing on it, but because my squirrels will not let me have anything, I put this little carton on it. And this has been out for 2 days and the fruit looks fine. So I'm really hoping that the carton doesn't like burn the fruit in any way, but that's how we're gonna roll for now because I want to be able to harvest and eat my own stuff and not have the squirrels eating it for me, because as you guys know, they have eaten all of my strawberries so far. I've gotten 0 strawberries this season because they keep eating them. I'm gonna get pissed off just thinking about it. The little baggies I put on the strawberries do not work long term. So it works in the sense that the berries are able to reach this point, because before they're eating them at this stage, which is really freaking stupid. But I had one bagged up and as soon as it turned red, they literally ate through this bag. I don't know, y'all. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just shovel some dirt. We're gonna move dirt from right here. It used to be a mound. It's been there for months and months, so it's kind of flat now, but that's garden soil right there. And we're gonna wheelbarrow it all the way over here into the garden bed and then get our plants planted. I got the plants on top of the AC unit right now. But yeah, I'm so happy there's cloud cover right now because I wouldn't be out here because it's been so hot. It went from being so rainy to being freaking 90-degree inferno. Thanks, Denver. Thank you. I want to take a nap, but no, we're gonna garden. We're gonna garden. Oh yeah. I also wanted to tell you guys I got some plant food. Got this at Costco. I don't want to hear no Miracle-Gro slander, but I got some plant food from Costco that in the next week or so I'm definitely going to be applying to the whole garden. But I didn't want to do it right now. I don't like doing a whole bunch of steps at once. It's like, let me just plant everything and then I'll fertilize everything at once, because I could have fertilized the stuff that was already there and then do the other batch later. I didn't feel like doing all that, so I'm gonna wait like a week, maybe 2. No, a week, maybe 10 days. I want all the seeds that I planted to germinate so I can know where they are, so that when I go to apply the fertilizer to the soil, I'm not disturbing seeds. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me go change my clothes. I'm still in my work clothes. And let's garden.
I'm just good at caring too much.
Filling up this garden bed wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it definitely took some elbow grease to do all the shoveling. I was really excited to see it fully fill with soil because having a small herb bed right here behind the garage, like which is right off the kitchen, was always the vision and the goal ever since designing out like what the garden was going to look like last year and building the bigger version on the other side of the yard. This was always the plan. So it's so satisfying and super exciting to see the visioning, okay, and like seeing it come to life. And the combination of the rain barrels with the new like scallop bricked edging and the landscaping rocks and the garden bed, it just has made this little area of the backyard entryway feel so complete and tidy and cute. Too much. So it's been about a week and a half and I'm back out in the garden doing some small tasks like fertilizing and also planting out some more perennials and flowers that I had sitting around in the trays waiting for me to get to them. I am also rearranging some plants in some pots. I have these two large wavy terracotta pots that I want to put my two lavender plants in because I decided I don't want to put them in the front yard. I am moving these zinnias into these smaller terracotta pots that's gonna go in front of the large garden behind me, and the two wavy pots are gonna stay on the porch. The zinnias I grew from seed. I'm super excited. I've never grown that flower before and they're so close to blooming. It's so gorgeous. And now I have these lavender plants in these larger pots. They are such an awesome addition to the patio. They smell awesome. And I thought it was a great idea to pivot in this way because lavender is apparently a natural mosquito repellent. And we have had mosquitoes here this year, which is a bummer. It's not our norm, but we've gotten so much rain that we're mosquito people now. So lavender it is. And I gave the patio just a little refresh. It's so cute. It's been a really weird month, but I'm finding some peace in the garden today. The heat wave has passed. I have a little bit of a slower work week because I think it's like Wednesday or something. And I'm enjoying this time right now. The garden's looking great. I'm feeling so much better about it. And yeah, we're getting some flowers out here. I've been seeing butterflies, like swallowtails. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. In the fall, I like to put mums in this pot. I thought the mums that I purchased were perennial. They weren't because they never came back. So I just gave up and I'm putting these, where are these? Vincas in here. And in the opposite pot, I transplanted some zinnias that were like almost starting to bulb. That's not the best thing to do, so I'm really hoping that they don't have a super ton of transplant shock and then don't bloom, because that would make me so sad. But I really wanted to move some of the plants around. Good morning, happy Friday. I am outside nice and early today because it is supposed to be warm. I just finished watering the whole garden. I will give you guys a little tour because the garden is definitely popping and doing so much better. So I will give you guys a tour of like the whole garden space. But today I really need to focus on preparing my front yard to be planted out with all of the stuff that I bought for it. And that mainly means I need to like get the rest of the mulch from out of the front and move it into the back. There's like a humongous pile of mulch still from when we removed the landscaping rocks from that front bed, and there's still so much leftover mulch. So I'm going to be slowly lugging the mulch into the back and like putting another layer of mulch around the back perimeter on both sides. I've done so much to this freaking backyard. I feel like I need to just like dedicate a like video talking about all the changes I've made to the design of this backyard, but I don't know if I'll include that or make it its own video. I'm pretty tired, you guys. I don't know if you can tell. The energy is quite low. It's been a very busy month. I'm so grateful, but I'm also exhausted. And there's still so much to do for my property, like to get it ready for the warm season and to really get it where I want it to be. But this weekend, I really feel like it's going to be that weekend. Like, we're going to get it done. They had a meeting. I'm a part of an HOA community, and so you have to like submit your landscape plans to the HOA so they can like keep it on file. I really don't want to hear no complaining in the comments. Like, it's not optimal, but just know I don't spend money for my HOA. My HOA is not hundreds of dollars a month. Just know that. And they don't be knocking on my door acting crazy. So yes, I had submitted my like plant plan for the front yard. I think they had their meeting last night, so I'm gonna find out today if I was approved to plant, which I should be. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself. But I should be. I followed all the guidelines. I have the right amount of plants per square footage. It should be fine. So hopefully this weekend all of these plants will be in the front yard, and then like things will look so much better. Oh my god, I'm so excited. All right, so first thing I want to do is cut down my backyard. It's just nothing but weeds back here. But I want to cut it down because that pile of dirt over there that I used to put into this garden bed, it was still more dirt than what I needed for this garden bed. And so I think I'm going to take that dirt and I'm going to spread it all out in this area, because this is like, it's really hard for the clover to grow right here compared to how it is in the backyard, because all of this used to be covered in landscaping rocks and landscaping fabric. Like everything from my deck and towards the house with landscaping rocks, so it's really hard for stuff to grow here because the soil quality is not even soil, it's like construction sand and clay. So I'm thinking if I take all of the leftover garden soil and kind of spread it out here, throw some more clover seed down, excuse me, hopefully we'll see a little better coverage. But long term, I really want to put flagstone down out here, like a unclosed flagstone walkway in this front part of the garden where I'm standing. There's a lot of high traffic here that goes in like all different directions. You got the path that comes out of the garage, you got the path from the deck that comes around here to the trash, you got the yard entrance that comes around. Like there's just like a lot of walking over here. And so I feel like some type of like paved slash lawn area. Maybe I'll put a inspo pic so you can understand more what I'm talking about. That's really the vision for this area. But that's like, I need to be able to source the pavers or the flagstone for damn near free. So that's not gonna happen until I can do that. And I be looking on Marketplace. I have it like pinged on Marketplace, because that's really the vision. And even like building this out looks so nice. Like I'm still so obsessed with this area. All of this just used to be dirt, and it used to be kind of slanted in a weird way and just not cute. And now it's so cute and tidy with this little like rock bed and a little scallop brick border. Like, okay, let me stop obsessing over my homework. I am literally dressed like a maniac again because it's early and I just woke up. But yeah, that's my plan for this weekend. And this weekend is gonna round out this June garden vlog. And I feel like we're gonna hit all the goals. We're gonna hit all the goals. I got a little bun friend hanging out with me this morning. So cute. But yeah, let me get some manual labor in, because as soon as it get hot and this shade go away, I'm taking my behind in the house. I've been collecting all of my used and empty pots. I need to clean them out and put them away in the shed. And I also still have flowers I want to plant that I haven't planted out yet. Like I want to plant this tray around these irises. And I think I have a couple I'm gonna put into these little pots that hold up my string lights, because the ones I planted earlier this season, the squirrels dug out because they're assholes. So I want to replant this stuff this weekend too and get rid of these pots. I'm gonna dump all of the extra dirt out into the yard. Totally forgot to put the little baggie on the back of the lawnmower. We had to kill a wasp nest in the shed the other day. Girl, I gotta make sure they ain't rebuild, okay? And it's actually safe. But yeah, I need the little like grass catcher. so happy that transferring these shrubs have been going super easily so far. So happy. It took me a few sessions throughout the day to dig all the holes. I was also scared my holes weren't big enough. Thank God they're big enough, because Lord knows I didn't want to make them bigger. I didn't want to make them bigger. But I got 2 out of the 5 going in around this pathway done, which feels awesome. And I think it looks so good already. Like, the vision is about to be visioning. I have been dreaming about this moment for 2 years now, because we've been in this house for 2 years. And during the month of our 2-year anniversary, I am going to bring the curb appeal vision to life, okay? We're bringing it to life. And we're reusing what we've got. So yeah, transplanting these shrubs has been very easy so far. I just use my shovel, loosen up the soil around it, cut the big root if I need to, and pop it over. I added some fertilizer and some good soil to the hole, and I'm watering it super, super well immediately. I'm so excited. I have finished planting all of the shrubs into this area, and it looks awesome. Can you see? I know you probably could not see it last night. I worked out here until it got dark, but I am excited that there is no more shrubs over there. That looks so good. I'm going to dig the hole for the tree now and put the tree out. I've already spent some time spacing out where I want the grasses to grow. Like, I put rocks down for the 8 grasses. So let's do the tree now. And drop it. Toot that thing up, mommy, make it roll. Once you pop, lock it for me, girl, get low. If your mama gave it to your baby girl, let it show. So we're trying to decide, Jay and I, what direction we want the tree to go in. And I think we really like this, the way it looks right now, which is diagonal. I can't say it regular now. Diagonally. Diagonally. Versus it being like completely parallel with the street or perpendicular with the street, because the branches kind of like fork. You see? So this is me standing directly in front of it, and it's like at this angle. So this will be my second time planting a tree, but my first time planting a tree alone. My husband and I did plant a blue spruce in our backyard a year and a half ago at this point, I think. A little over a year ago. And that was a learning process. It was so heavy, it definitely needed 2 people. But this little ornamental tree was definitely enough for me to tackle. I dug my disc-shaped hole, or I guess like it's like a shallow bowl, and I made sure that it was deep enough that when my plants sit in it, the root ball was only an inch below the surface. And I started to backfill it with the dirt that I've been collecting from all the holes I've been digging, which I've been storing in a huge pile in the backyard. But I backfilled it, and I used not only the ground dirt but some like bagged soil as well, and a little fertilizer, and gave it a really, really deep water. The root ball was not very big, so I do keep that in mind, that like it only needs but so much water, because the root ball is only like 6 inches long or something like that. It's not super huge. But this is what this section of the front yard looks like now. It's so stinking cute. I have been working on my front lawn garden bed all day. It is like, I think after 3 p.m. at this point. I've been working on it all day. It looks awesome. I'm looking around I'm loving the spacing. I'm thinking that this is going to look fantastic. So let me give you a little peek of what we have so far. I'm about to go take a break because it's hot. I've been taking a break like once an hour to just go sit in the air conditioning, drink some water, chill. But it's not super hot out. It's like 80 degrees or something like that. But I'm just in full sun, so it just feels really intense at, like after a little while. So let me show you what we have. All of the grasses have been planted and all of the flowers have been spaced out. It looks really cute. I am obsessed. But I'm going to keep working on this throughout today. I really want to finish it today because I think it's going to storm tomorrow and the rain will be great to just like settle it all in, you know? So I'm gonna head in, take a little breather. Oh, it feels so good in here. Take a little breather and then I'll go back out in like 15 minutes. Once upon a time and I heard that I was ugly. I'm on my last section of plants, you guys. I am so freaking excited to be done. I'm powering through. I'm so tired. This was so much work to cram into a day, but I was just too eager. So let's finish off strong and get these last little plants in here. All right, it is the next day and I am just doing some hedge trimming around the shrubs that I've transplanted to give them a lot rounder and cuter of a shape versus them being so haphazard. And by trimming them, I'm also going to be encouraging new growth. This bed of irises is so overgrown, and so is this pot of lilies. So I am going to be separating out these plants so that I can put them out in the different garden beds. Transplanting flower bulbs is really so easy. I brought these irises from my community garden downtown when I used to live in my apartment, and I only brought maybe like, I don't know, 20 or 25 kind of clusters in a big pot, and I think I put about 10 to 15 of them in this front bed. And so to see that we're getting almost 50 plus clusters just from this front bed so that we can spread them out into the different gardens is so satisfying. It really just shows you that nature is so extremely abundant and generous if you work with it and nurture it the way it should. So it's really easy to do. You just put your shovel up under the plant and you give it a nice little push just to loosen up the soil, and then the rhizomes should come up pretty easily. And then I essentially just broke the rhizomes into parts that have clusters of leaves on them and good roots. All the irises from that little porch bed are separated and cut. And so now I'm just gonna put them out, lay them out along with the lilies I have laid out so that I can then plant them. But how fun. I cannot believe they doubled so much in just 1 year. I only put maybe 15 like irises, like iris pieces like this into this front bed when we first moved, and look at how many. This is easily 50 if not more irises just from 1 year of like growth. That's crazy. You guys, I literally had so many irises that look, I'm able to make a little border with them on this side of the yard, and I've also spread out a bunch of them in this front bed too. So looks like this is what I'm doing with my Monday morning, but it's gonna be so worth it because this added height is going to really make the beds pop. I am having a celebratory 3 p.m. front yard beer because because yeah. Yeah. See my little iris border? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I actually cannot believe that I finished all of that in like 2 days. Yes. I'm like, after it taking months just to get rid of the landscaping rocks that used to be in that long bed, I was ready to see it done. I was ready to see it done, and it's done. Oh, completion is so satisfying. Praising. Let me give you a little tour of what it's looking like now that the irises and the lilies have been planted out. It adds the perfect amount of height and visual interest, in my opinion. This is all gonna look so amazing once it grows in. Like, I know that it's giving a little sparse and bald head, and I need to weed my rocks right there, so please ignore. But I know it's giving sparse and bald head, but I'm planting for the future, which will be bigger plants, and it'll fill in really nicely. I think even by next season it'll fill in really nicely. I even went through and deadheaded some of the plants that the blooms had already gone through. Ooh, this aster's opened finally. Beautiful. Wow. Love that. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see like a pop of color. I love. And then this section is just like such a vibe. Such a vibe. Like, come on. And planting out these irises did not even take that long. I cannot believe all of these irises were in that bed, which now only has a little bit, as you can see. And I've saved room to put a second rose bush right there, because I currently have a rose bush right there. And I left some irises inside of this pot. I mean, not irises, lilies, because that pot had lilies in it when I first moved in here, and it kind of exploded with lilies. So I was able to use them in this bed. And as you can see, most of the items are planted more towards the back of the bed, not so much in the front here, because people do walk their dogs. And so I'm just being realistic that like dogs and stuff walk in this front area sometimes. It's not often at all, but sometimes. And I'm leaving room to add more items in the future. I plan on taking advantage of like end of season sales and getting some more perennials to put in that bed and fill it out a little more, but for like a super fraction of the price. They'll mark down, like your local hardware store will normally mark down plants that are like $10 down to like $2.50. Yeah, but it looks so good. Oh my gosh, I just cannot believe plants are here. There were never plants in this little section. Like, there's never been plants here. It's always just been a mulch pit, and not even a good mulch pit. Oh, I have the best house on the block. Good morning, people. Let's put a bow on this, what month is it? June garden vlog. I am really proud of everything that I accomplished. Everything on my list that I said at the beginning, I did. And I'm exhausted, okay? I'm exhausted. When this gets posted, I don't think I've posted on YouTube for 2 weeks in a row, because you guys, I was just tired, okay? I needed a break. I needed to just take some time to myself after a really chaotic 2 months of nonstop work. from my art business. I just needed a moment, and the first thing to go is YouTube right now because I don't get paid from it quite yet, but I'm so close, which is why taking breaks is like, oh gosh, it gives me so much anxiety because I'm so close to monetizing, you guys. But anyway, I want to give a final garden tour. Please ignore my neighbor's dog. But I want to give a final garden tour of not just the back garden, but the front yard garden now as well, because yes, your girl finished the front yard garden. I did it in 2 days, 2 full days, like 12-hour days. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I've been resting. But there's also some takeaways I learned this month that I want to share with you guys. And the first one is like pest control and taking advantage of natural bug predators. And I did that this month with my aphid issue on my cabbage and my cauliflower plants and also my collard greens, and they were on the broccoli. Ladybugs saved all of these plants, and I thought I was gonna have to go out and buy them. I just farmed them from around my yard and was just picking them up and putting them over onto the plants I wanted them on, and it actually worked. Like, look at these plants now compared to earlier this month. Do you see how much better these red cabbages look? The leaves are starting to grow again, and they're starting to grow more open. As you can see, this was like the grow phase where they were being attacked by aphids, which is why the leaves are so balled up. But there's no, like, as you can see, there's no aphid activity on here anymore. Like, little ladybugs have been doing their thing, okay? Doing their thing. I am so happy about that. Another takeaway, I would say, hopefully I don't have any crusties. It is morning. Okay, Mr. Squirrel. Another takeaway I got from the garden this month was the virtue of, like, no, more essentially having patience, being patient with just the way life is gonna life, okay? And I feel like at the beginning of the garden season, I was so hard on myself and beating myself up because my garden just like was not where I feel like other people's gardens were, and even in like within Denver. But I was juggling so much stuff, like I just need to relax because the garden is catching up nicely and it's gonna be fine. But it has also still been really hot, so we have a shade cloth up that I will remove. Oh my god, the squirrels are so distracting. I will remove it for like the final touch tour because that is a new addition with hiding under here. I put a like gridded archway between my trellises because the peas, I want the peas to grow up and over, and I also would love for the cucumbers in a perfect world to also grow up and over. But right now there's a shade cloth on it because we've been having heat wave after heat wave, like 90+ degree days, and peas, snap peas, do not like the heat, and so they will dry up and stop producing like almost immediately when like the summer hits. So this shade cloth has been saving me through those heat waves. I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I don't share like the befores of what my property looked like when we purchased it 2 years ago now. It was a rental property before we owned it, and they obviously were doing the very bare minimum. When it comes to the outside, everything was covered in landscaping rocks and just like weeds. No real landscaping was happening. No real intention or thought or style or passion or anything was put into the landscaping and curb appeal of this property. And so when we purchased it, we painted the house and then immediately got to work in the backyard wanting to remove the huge amount of landscaping rocks that were taking up pretty much half of the backyard, the half that the house is on. So like essentially where our fire pit is, there were landscaping rocks essentially going across the entire yard and then towards the house. And then on the other side of the fire pit was like essentially the yard, and it wasn't really grass, it was just overgrown prairie weeds. Like it looked like just a natural habitat back here. Nothing. There was like a rabbit's burrow or something in the very back corner. There were random wooden posts in that back corner as well. There were dead juniper bushes in the other corner. There was a whole tree on the right side of the garden that we cut down because it was dead, and we planted sprucey, our blue spruce, in that back corner for future privacy from our neighbors. And then we spent a year essentially removing all of those landscaping rocks from around the deck and the house and relocating them to what is now the garden area and the fire pit area. We sifted all of the dirt and debris out, and wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow created the foundation for what is now the garden and the fireplace or fire pit. Then last summer, we finally built the garden using cedar fencing, and we ordered like that huge load of soil and created this garden, which we're still like learning and nurturing and building the soil and all of that. But then we had a bunch of leftover soil that ended up in a big pile next to the garden for the next year, until I built the herb bed, and that's up against the garage. And then I finally was able to move that. And after getting the huge mulch delivery we got last fall, I was finally able to distribute that mulch in the rest of the areas of the backyard, and of course in the front garden beds as well, where we removed yet more landscaping rocks via come get these free rocks on marketplace technique. And then also I threw 3 garbage cans worth of those rocks away, slash they're just being stored in those cans in my garbage area because I don't know what to do with them yet. But yeah, all of those landscaping rocks are gone from that front bed, and that was replaced with mulch. And there's still a huge mulch pile to be used to continue this kind of front corner of our yard that's really just being used as like a storage kind of like debris area. Like if we have leftover wood, we throw it in that corner. Right now it's housing dirt, a bunch of extra dirt that will actually just end up being leveled out over there. But yeah, there's just been so much evolution and change. We've planted the clover lawn, which is literally dried to a crisp right now because of all the heat waves. But yeah, we planted the clover lawn. We've spent hours hand picking all of the bad weeds out of this backyard and out of the front. I don't want them growing and continuing to go to seed and spreading because they get stuck in our feet and the dog's feet, and it's not fun. Anyway, that was a tangent. So yeah, hopefully I think I have footage of all of these things because I have been documenting my improvements to this fixer-upper since we got it. So hopefully there was proof of everything I'm describing before I show you what it looks like now. The brick path that we've laid that goes from the backyard to the like driveway. All of those bricks were kind of pathways that were in between the like garage and the shed and the fence and the garage, like just like these, it was like these random pathways over there that's in the area that I was telling you guys that I, you know, eventually want to put flagstone down in that whole area because it's so like it's such a high traffic section. Yeah, all of that was moved to that trash can landing and also the walkway around to the driveway. All of the mulched bordered perimeter that I've put around the backyard, I feel like I can't even picture what the yard looks like without this border around it now. It just makes it feel so much more intentional because the backyard's such an awkward shape to begin with. So like the first thing I decided to do to even like give it any type of character was give it a border around the whole thing. And all of the wood that's used for these borders were all found on the property already, because I'm not sure, like they were using it as kind of like pathways and stuff, like all these like railroad wood and things like that. Like all of that was just found on the property and we just reused it. Same with the scallop bricks for the garden, and for any of the scallop bricks you see on the property, they were already there and we have just reused them. I can't even tell you where all them scallop bricks came from. I would say a quarter of them we dug up out the ground. They were literally buried in the ground. The backyard totally wasn't level before either. We leveled it by hand as best as we could. And what else? Yeah, I've just been adding plants and flowers and more improvements as these years have gone on. And I still have more ideas to come. Got a very grumpy morning face. Now that you have all of the backstory on kind of what I've done to this property in the last 2 years, I hope that you have a little more appreciation and enjoyment in where we are now and kind of our final tour for our June vlog and like what the garden is looking like in 2025, especially compared to what this just like patch of land was in 2023. But thank you all so much for watching this video, and I really appreciate all of the encouragement and the kind words and the like motivation that you guys feed into me. I'm so appreciative, and I am just really looking forward to continuing to make this space really beautiful, and hopefully sooner than later start hosting and sharing the space with others. So until then, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.